Okay, so it was quite a journey to the point that I felt the need to write a book about it because it really was back and forth and up and down. I think, Warren, you sort of accepted things a little bit faster than I did.
Yeah, my approach, I think maybe being a lawyer, was these are people that I know and like and trust, and they're telling me something, and it kind of accords with what I'm seeing. Okay,
Yes.
let's help him. Let's figure out what this is. We were both very anti-medicine to begin with.
Yes.
Everyone had heard such bad stories about Ritalin. So we did, I mean, Lauren will tell you, we did everything first. It was a year before we came to you, when we first were given a name.
Yes.
Yeah, I accepted it earlier. I was prepared to accept it. Because yes, he was busy, but by the time the symptoms manifested as they did when he was off the medication that you put him on,
yes,
he was older.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you could see the differences. Then it really manifested. So by the time the behavior became a bit of a challenge, we were already on the journey with you by then. I was worried about him. I wasn't sure if he was happy because he didn't really talk about it much. He was small.
Yeah.
But I was worried for him. It wasn't really impacting the family.
The one thing that I will say, not that it impacted the family, but one thing that I remember noticing because of how the family is structured. So he's the oldest, and 18 months later, we had another little boy, also full of energy and full of beans and delightful little kid, but neurotypical. And I do remember very distinctly seeing his threshold is so much higher for volume and for stimulation that to get through to him, you have to be quite ebullient. And when I reacted that way to my younger child, I gave him a big fright because he really only needed a little tap on the shoulder, not a whole big reaction. But I knew that with Ari, if I didn't react at that size, it wouldn't register. And that for me was a turning point where I was like, okay, this is something very different we're dealing with.
And I think that is absolutely right. With your first child, you kind of tend to kind of blame yourself a bit as parents for the way things might or might not go right. And you kind of think that your parenting style is the problem. And that's such a common thing, is where parents blame themselves, maybe not in your case, but a lot of parents would look at the teacher and the school. They think, well, is it the school? Is it the teacher? Is it the system? Is it the diet? Is it, too much screen time, technology, too much pressure, those kind of things.